Hey, welcome back to another skateboarding channel. This is the Drop Inn IRL episode number 5. I've got some treats for you, Twitchy, because you set me 2 challenges in the last month. You told me to do the, a nollie foot plant and then no foot set up to the pop shove it. Well, I went out and I filmed that, so that'll be coming out this week.
Did you get it? Get it good?
Oh yeah, I got it. I got it pretty good. I'm happy with it.
Nice.
And you set me the another free trick challenge on the transition, which was feeble lip slide and a hang 10, and I've done that as well. So that'll be coming out this week.
Man, I'm hanging to see that one.
Yeah, mate, I got both of those challenges done in about half an hour. You know.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
When I seen you do your hang 10, I was like, man, you ought to put that in the line. They look cool.
Yeah, I'm glad I did. It was pretty hard actually to get it in the line.
Yeah.
Trying to find somewhere to do it where it'd all be in camera shot as well, you know.
That's a hard thing with transition, especially when you're like you're filming on your own, trying to find the right spot that you can get everything in. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I managed to rope someone in the end anyway, so I got a bit of a helping hand with the camera, which is awesome. So yeah, hopefully you probably see that Wednesday or Thursday this week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
Man.
So you guys working on new videos at the moment?
No, not at the moment. Put out one. I don't even know when I put it out. It was a couple of days ago, I think. When me and Caden just skated around our estate, our neighbourhood, just looking for different spots around.
Charging
that
around.
turned out like the funnest session, man. Like, didn't really have anywhere to go and didn't have anything to try. Just went out and skated what we could find and just had a bit of fun with it. It was cool.
Yeah, that was a strange metal contraption you were skating at the beginning of that. What was
that
it?
Cage.
Cage, yeah. What on earth is that?
It was like a inspection, so they had it over an inspection access tunnel thing for all the sewage or the drainage system or something like that. And it was weird. First one I've seen of that. So I don't know. We seen it. I was like, I wonder if this will work. And it was funny because before we got it on camera, Caden was getting it every shot. As soon as I turned the camera on, he'd just get face planting.
That's just typical, right?
Yeah.
No, that's funny.
Right. We got it in the end.
Yeah, man. That's crazy thing though. But it looked like fun anyway, mate.
Yeah. I was waiting for people to come out of their houses and start yelling at us, but it was pretty loud.
Oh, that's not on a skate park?
No, that was just on a walking trail thing near the wetlands. So, yeah.
No
we didn't get told off or whatever. Yeah.
That's fantastic, mate. Oh, well, I'm really excited, right? Today, we've got a guest that's coming on that we've been trying to get on for a while. It's been a bit of backwards and forwards and trying to find the right time. I'm sure you guys are subscribed to him. Everyone watching at home, if you're not subscribed, you need to be. You should be.
Yeah, you're living under a rock, that's for sure.
I'm going to put all the links in the description for this, man. This is Anthony from Adventures in Skateboarding at 40 Plus. Are you there, my brother?
I am here. Is this thing on?
Hey.
Right.
Welcome, man.
Hey, check it out. Oh, we got it. Is this thing on? It is on. All right. And got it. And is this thing on?
There you are.
Hey,
there it is.
Now we're talking.
Now we're ready to start. Man,
I've
been sitting here waiting to get dialed in. Like, man, I'm thirsty.
No duff for you this time, Graham, huh?
Yeah.
Nah. I'm on the soft drinks because I'm working tomorrow, so I've got my own special blend.
Oh, I love it.
What are you guys drinking there? Which is brew? What have you got?
What, me?
Yeah, the Perrier. What's that you drinking?
Nah, I'm just on the soft drinks tonight, but it's just one of my new designs that I've been mucking about with. Slapped on the front of it.
Very responsible.
Yeah, I'm working first thing tomorrow morning, so don't really get a choice tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I do, but it wouldn't be wise.
I've got a Man of Law. It's out of a local place here called Southern Pines, 30 minutes from me. It's apparently an American IPA, which I actually don't like IPAs, but I try a different beer every video. And so I end up trying some crazy shit just because the can looks good. And this one's a 6.4%, 60 on the IBU, and then it's got an 8 SRM rating, and I have no clue what SRM
I was just going to say, I don't know what that is.
I know the International Bitterness Units for the IBU, but I have no clue what a SRM is. I don't know.
I got the first one, that's about it.
But it looks all right. Oh, man, got the green screen weirdness. Invisible beer. Were you drinking? Were you drinking? No, I wasn't drinking anything.
Prove it.
No, that's cool.
All right. Man, awesome to be on. I'm stoked.
Yeah, good to have you on, finally.
I've been following this from the start. I think it's awesome bringing all the community together because it's an awesome community. Like all the small channels out there. Yeah, there's some gnarly rad channels with pros that you can't even see them pop because they're so damn fast. I can't learn nothing from them. Like I want to watch people that are just a little bit better than me. I'm like, oh man, maybe I could learn that. Because I watch Nigel, I'm like, yeah, that's witchcraft, whatever. I don't care. Next video.
Can relate.
Yeah, I've seen him do that a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have been around though. You have been around since the start. In fact, you even helped me name this show, didn't you?
Well, you know, you text me and we were just kind of talking about it, and I was like, yeah, it should be like skateboarding related, and we started talking about it, and then when you started talking about the community, like a place to come, I was like,
the inn,
like it could be like the inn, like the INN versus the Drop Inn. And then, you know, we both came together and war gamed it for a while. And
now it's perfect. Huh? You got people that drop in, you drop in skateboarding, you drop in on the social.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, man.
So, I'm excited for it. I think it's awesome. I think it'll share a lot of people's channels out there, and it'll be great. Yeah,
I think so. I think we're really going to help to promote and boost up quite a lot of channels that deserve it. Really, as we grow, we'll help a lot of other channels grow with it. Fingers crossed. That's the plan. So
it provides that community. So most of us older people, we don't have someone local to skate with. Like this is our skate crew. These are the people we share our skating with, we learn from. So it just gives another format for us to talk and communicate and encourage each other. Because a lot of times, man, I know I'm alone. My best friend's name is Tripod.
I can totally relate to that. There's literally myself and one other skater in my town.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've got like a good community of skaters here, but they're half my age. You know, they got other interests and they're doing other things. And, you know, I'm just happy to roll away and walk away at the end. You know, those are W's, you know.
Not have to stumble out of bed with a sore leg or something, you know.
Yeah.
Man, your skating's getting mad good though, actually, man. Especially your no slides and whatnot.
It's constant repetition. Like the bag of tricks is so small because every time I go to the park, I only really get to skate on the weekends at best. So every time I go, I have to relearn whatever I think I know, convince my 44-year-old beat up body that it's gonna skate. That takes an hour just to convince my brain and body that it's going to skateboard. And then I have to go through everything I think I have. And then when I'm feeling it, then I can start throwing around something new, like the nose grind, right? Everything was going well with the nose slides. Like, well, this front side nose slide roll up might be getting my front foot used to be more forward. Maybe now I try the nose grind. So we'll see how it goes. I tried nose grinds when I was in Korea. I made a whole video on that. And like for the babiest nose grind in the world, I skated hard for like a month, four Saturdays, just thinking nothing but nose grind. And man, I got the most baby one and I was pumped. I was like, that's it. I'm a nose grinder. And then I never did nose grinds again. And now I got to start from scratch. You know, that's how it goes.
I've been battling nose grinds for a fair while now. I always end up clipping my back truck just at the end or my tail.
Absolutely. I was talking to TJ Peters. I don't know if you guys watch TJ's channel. TJ Peters. I messaged him and I was like, hey man, you have like the best manual game out there. How do you do the nose grind and come out of it clean? And he was telling me, go ride on your sidewalks where you have the cracks in the sidewalk and just do that nollie bonk at each crack in the sidewalk, and that'll give you that little scoop forward pop motion that you need to come out of the nose grind. And I was like, that's brilliant. You know, he didn't go, sense. Oh man, just do a nose grind and push down on it. You know, sometimes you get the shitty answers like that. He like gave me a method that wasn't that trick to go work at it, and I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the best way. People are always like, oh, you just put your foot here and you do this, and then it's like, okay.
Yeah. Like, you just do that. You just do that. No, there's just sharks in the ocean. Go find one right now.
I found a pretty good way to explain to beginner skateboarders how to ollie, actually. So if you guys agree with this, is if you imagine a horse from the side, the way it gallops, imagine like two left legs, and imagine the foot pattern of when it gallops, the way the back legs pump out behind and the front legs scoop out, dush, dush. And that is the same motion as the ollie. And if you get people to visualize that motion and jump sideways along the floor like that, and then get them to repeat it on the board, making sure they're lifting the knees to the same height, they've done an ollie. And it really works. What
I tell brand new skaters is stop worrying about your front foot. Like, you're not there yet. If you can just pop and jump both feet up, the board's going to hit your front foot. It's going to happen. Once you can just get that timing of popping and jumping, then you can worry about leveling it out a little bit. But I just don't just forget about your front foot, because what happens is they're so focused on the front foot that they actually hurt themselves, because they're forcing the front of the board down. They're not letting the pop mature. They're already pushing it down before it gets up. This is probably not helping.
What I've been noticing is people tend to forget that you need to jump, and they just do this little flick and kind of karate kick, and their back foot's not lifting off the ground because they're new to it themselves. They don't really know, but they've been taught this pop and flick or pop and slide, the braille method.
Yeah. They're sliding before their tail's off the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Before their tail's off the ground, they're sliding. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I like working with new skaters. People tend to hit me up at all ages, because like, oh man, this guy sucks, but he's a little bit better than I am. He'll talk to me. So, so I constantly get asked questions like, oh, how did you do that? And I'm like, I just give them as stupid as I can. How can I break this down simple? Sometimes I've had times where Mowgli from Braille, I met him street skating in Korea, and we just became good friends. And sometimes he'll get asked on Instagram like, oh, how do you do this trick? And I've had Mowgli like Instagram video me and be like, hey, I just kind of do it. I don't know how I do it. How would you go about it? And he'll have me break it down, elementary school style on how I would approach it to help the kid understand better.
Yeah.
That dude's gnarly, by the way. I met him before he started skating for Braille, and we were just in the streets of Korea. We met at a skate shop, and we started skating around. And believe it or not, he's on his vacation. I live there, and he spent 30-40 minutes filming me to get my first 5.0. He just followed me over and over and over again. First day I met him, I was like, man, what a nice dude. And then he's like, I got a YouTube channel too. Didn't think nothing of it. A year later, I see him skating for Braille. I'm like, oh damn. Dude's all right.
That's Mowgli, hell yeah.
But like my first impression, my first day with him was like, just a good human. It's just awesome.
Man, I think he comes across like that anyway in his videos, just very humble, and
he's
just humble and chilled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell there's no fakery, is he? It's just
Yeah. He is who he is, and
that's right.
He's just out having fun.
Yeah. And I love that I love that he keeps his channel going through all that too. Like, he hasn't let it stop his personal adventure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's daunting too when you approach someone who's like, really, really good, and you ask them how to do things. Some of them, you get the guys that are like, will take the time, but it's quite a daunting thing just to go up to someone and approach them and be like, hey, how do you actually do this?
Right.
But yeah, it's good to have people that can actually sit down and go through it with you step by step.
I think it's a big part of skateboarding, man.
I think the other thing is you have to explain the idea of the trick, like what makes it work, and not the exact how to do it, because skateboarding is different for everybody. Exactly where you put your foot is not exactly where I put my foot. So I try and explain the idea of what I'm trying to make the board do and how I make that happen.
Yeah.
But explain that you might do it differently.
100%. That's what I tell my kids all the time, that, they're always like, how do you do this? It's like, I don't know. It could be completely different from me to do it to you to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to, this is the basic way to do it, and you just learn how to do it, and you do it the way you want to do it.
I think it's awesome that your kids skate. I tried to get my kids into it in 2006. I hadn't picked up a board since '89. and I wanted my kids to skate, and man, they didn't bite. But it put a bug in me that like I tried to skate with them for about a year, and then we stopped. 10 years went by, but it was in me. Like I couldn't let it go for that whole 10 years. And finally, like December of 2017, I was like, I'm going to skate. And I have not put that board down a single free moment since December of 2017.
Well, they're the reason why I got back into it.
Yeah. My daughter will watch my videos sometimes. She's in college and she'll comment on my video. I'm like, oh shit, she actually watches. You know, because family and friends are the worst YouTube supporters in the world, right? You know, strangers will watch your shit before your family will.
Yeah. And then I think, wait a minute, my brother saw that video, or my uncle saw that video.
Yeah. Now it's cool. Like that's the reason why I got back into skating, was because of the kids. You know, I had an old blind board that I got my oldest son years ago, and it just sat there. And you know, one day my other 2 9-year-olds picked it up and started skating out the front. They're like, "Oh, we want a board each." I'm like, "Oh." So I went and got him a board, and then I jumped on their board, and I was like,
"Hey, Dad, we just want $400."
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, whatever." You know what? It's good because it gets them out of the house, especially nowadays with kids playing video games all the time and what have you. So
it builds resiliency. Like they learn how to fail, they learn how to make small corrections and try again. And you do that over and over and over again. And that skill set of learning how to learn will last them a lifetime.
That's right. Yeah. And it gives you a completely different outlook on life too. Yeah.
For sure.
If you take, like you said, if you take everything the way you'd think of like doing skateboarding, like if you're nothing can stop you, whether it's work or schooling.
Yeah, none of that shit matters when you're skating, man. That's the best part of it. Like it takes everything in your human brain and body to go skateboard. All the other things you thought were problems don't exist for that time. Yeah. It's the greatest thing in the world.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. It's a good way to get out and just forget about everything that's going on.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Love it. What's that board next to you there, Graham?
This is my next deck. I bought it to stick it in the cupboard, but I think I'm going to be using it fairly soon. Actually, it's from a company based in England. I'm trying to get it in the camera. Called Was That Switch? I don't know if you've maybe seen. I've got a few of their t-shirts. I've got a t-shirt with that design on it. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a guy called Francis Rondo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's an admin for the UK Skateboarding Collective Facebook group, and I was actually hoping you would bring it up because I noticed, you've got that Ishod twin tail.
Yes,
I noticed that this. I don't know if it's by design, but I think this is like a pretty symmetrical. Doesn't seem to have much difference in the nose and the tail. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to skating it because it's I've never skated a symmetrical board.
Like measure the fingers of flat from the holes and see if it's the same distance from the bolt holes to where the tails would start.
So
that would give you the first
the distance.
Yeah,
like
so
that.
Yeah. So if that's two, is the other side exactly the same? So it looks like it's a little further off. So that would be your nose.
Maybe not, but it's a pretty mellow nose, if nothing else. I don't know if that's intentional or if it's just the way it came out the mold, but
I think you can try and skate it as a twin tail, but the key thing I learned with the twin tail is you got to make sure the trucks are exactly the same. So you like fresh bushings or something, because I tend to technically ride my back truck tighter than my front, but on this I had to make sure they were the same way, or there would have been evidence of a tail or nose.
Yeah.
I loved it though, man. Like I skated that board longer than I skate almost any board. Usually I'm like, okay, got a couple sessions, got what I wanted, I'm done. I just stayed on this board.
You look like you were having a real good time on it.
It's durable, like it's simple. I do like a flatter board. So when I first came back into this, I was skating the POW flight decks, which are a flatter board. So that's kind of how I learned and calibrated my pop. So if I get something with too much kicks, like I sucked. Like that Andy Anderson, worst thing I ever skated in my life. The FA board, I wanted to love that FA board. It was just gnarly. I am not good enough for it. Like I just do better on a flatter board. Just man, I might as well just buy 2x4s and stop spending all this money on these boards.
I'm exactly the same. My first proper board that I had was a World Industries, and it was just far too steep for me. I don't think it was even that steep, but it just the sides, like just like the concave across the middle, not even the pockets or anything. Like
on a world board,
felt like it was really steep across the middle, and like it physically hurt my feet.
Here we go. There's oh man, let's see this camera. It's not letting me do it the background. I got a world board right here somewhere. See it? It's magical world board. There you go.
Yeah, you can see bits of it. I had the.
Gotta turn that background off. How do I do that? Let me see. Virtual background. Choose and off. None. Oh man, we're in business.
There we go.
Hey.
Look at that. All right. So this is a new World Industries coming back.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that.
There.
I like how they've kept their old style. Like everything's all the same as like what it was.
Yeah, so it's
20 years ago.
It's back to being owned, by skaters. And their last known pro, Anthony Shetler from All I Need, he's actually doing a lot of the legwork from a lot of the advertising, a lot of the pressing the graphics on the board. He's doing a lot for them. So they've got some of the OGs back from the start to help rebuild it.
Good stuff.
I think it's awesome. So the funny part for me is I stopped skating in '89, and World Industries is since '88, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of what drove me out of skating. I was a '80s guy with big wheels and regular clothes, and all of a sudden wheels got small and pants got big, and I got out. Like I just didn't fit in anymore.
That's way before my time.
So yeah, but now like I get to experience everything I missed, and I got to interview Anthony on my channel, and just a super awesome guy, super supportive of the smaller channels as well. And the product's good. Like I've skated a couple of his boards, and I really like them. Like the graphics, the wood, everything. There's him from his old World part. This is called the Prosper board from a series he did. I love that like Monopoly look. That is just sick.
Nice.
Yeah. That's all I need, is it?
Yeah, all I need. So Anthony Shutter, he's the owner, the operator, the shipper, the web guy. Like he does 100% of the business. I mean, making T-shirts, to folding shirts, to packaging them. He's all in, and he works a full-time job. Like this guy's running a skate company, working a full-time job, and trying to help World get off the ground. Like this dude just lives and breathes skateboarding, and he's awesome.
True dedication.
If you go watch some of his channels, like history of his life, like the dude's been through some stuff, and skateboarding has just kept him on the level for so long. It's gnarly. He's such a good dude.
That's amazing. Skateboarding does that for so many people in so many ways, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, his company name is pretty bang on. Then all
I
need.
It is, because so he was saying when World went under during the recession in 2008, like he's like, well, I could sit around and just kind of wait for things to happen, or I could go get a job. He's like, all I really need to do is skate. And like he started the company like right away, like the name of it, and just started just getting out there and trying to do it. And he's just been doing it ever since and growing it. And he's got a great podcast. I don't know if you watch his podcast, but he grew up with like Brian Westbrook and other skaters, and they'll come on and they just bullshit. Like they just bullshit for an hour.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
No, I've not seen that podcast, but I'll definitely check it out.
I'll check it out
for sure.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Big fan. When I bought my first board from him, I was like, hey, I'm going to do an unboxing video. I'd rather just interview you and talk about the board instead of me just opening a board in front of a screen. And he was 100% down from the start. And we had a great chat, man. Just super good dude. And then there's been times where like, man, I'd really like to get that board, and you don't have any. And he's like, what size do you want? And like he goes against the board and he presses it and he sent it to me. So, man, if you're willing to take that extra step, like take my money.
Yeah. But it's good. Like you don't mind supporting companies like that, especially if they're like people like, oh, I don't want to go to a little company because the board's a little bit more expensive than what you could go to a shop and get it. But you got to think of what the reason behind why they're a little bit more expensive than
Yeah.
your average.
I want to
big
support
company,
a person. Like if I know who I'm giving my money to, I probably don't care how much money I'm giving.
That's right. Yeah.
Like I know it's going to him. It's going to go back, and he's going to put it back in the business. Like the dude, he's still working his job, right? He's going to put it right back into that business and get. And he supports 4 skaters. I think he's got 4 guys on his team. Yeah, sure. How can I help?
Yeah,
that's great.
That's a good indication if they've got a full-time job and a pretty successful company going.
Yeah,
it's all about the skateboarding. It's not about getting the money. At the end of the day, it doesn't. None of that matters. It's about supporting the whole thing.
I'll put all the links in the description.
Yeah.
Check him out
for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's very good.
So will you get another twin tail? You reckon? Or?
100%. So I want to get the Chris Roberts is putting out a chocolate twin tail. So that'll be the next one I try. I'm actually buying the same board I just got done skating from a dude locally selling a bunch of boards, and he's got a brand new one. So I'm gonna buy a new one. But it was good. Like, and I just enjoy it. The problem is I enjoy trying all the skateboards. I have a small skateboard addiction. Buying boards, setting up boards, skating boards. It's a problem. It's a real problem.
It's not a problem for the skate shops.
Yeah, for sure. Skate shops in my town, or one shop, they're gonna be okay.
It's you and people like you, mate. You're keeping these shops
single-handedly,
going.
Single-handedly keeping the scene going.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what it is. I think it's I quit skating in the 80s because we couldn't afford it anymore. I had a nice board, Tony Hawk claw board, T-bone wheels, gold wing trucks, like everything you could dream of, and I lost it. Like no shit, just being a kid, lost it. I was like, well, that's it. I'm not going to go tell people, my parents and my mom, that I lost it, and we can't eat groceries because she bought the board, and now I need a new one.
Lost it.
So I was like, well, that's it. I guess I'm an athlete now. So just forgot about it, and it was what it was. But coming back into it, what really hit me was the first time I needed new shoes when I started skating. I had holes in my shoes. I was like, hey, I'll go get shoe goo. I put some goo in my shoes, and I did it all, and it looked great. And then I was like, you're a 41-year-old man with a career. Go buy some damn shoes. I was like, I don't need to walk around with shoe goo on my freaking shoes. And that from then, like, I'm not looking like shit when I skate. I promise. I'm gonna have good shoes. The funny part is I found a shoe that doesn't go bad, and I just can't stop buying it. And I've got way more than I'll ever wear out because they never die. And that's the Adidas Tyshawn. I believe in that shoe more than anything. I probably tried 20, 30 different shoe brands the first year and a half. And the minute I put those Tyshawn's on, I have not skated another shoe in 2 years. They're amazing. And they last forever. I've got one pair that I just wear just for going out because they look nice. They're just a good looking shoe.
What are they made from? What's the canvas? Is it
It's just a suede. So I've got the newest ones I just got. I'll show you guys those. They're dope. Open it up.
Oh yeah.
Look at that.
Very nice.
That is just a good looking shoe, man.
Yeah.
And
can I see the sole? Can I see the sole on that?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's got the wider sole, yeah.
So I've never had anything really wear out here. I don't do kick flips, so I can't tell you if this wears out or not. I only get a couple ollie marks here, but I do a million heel flips, and this holds up pretty well. And then it's got the memory foam inside here, so it really grips around your ankle.
Nice.
And it's not like a high top. It's a low mid. And I feel secure in it. They don't wear out, and my feet don't hurt after a session. So like I'm not, why try another shoe? Like this is the shoe, Man, it looks fire. Look at that marble effect they put in there. Amazing. Anyway. I'm a fan.
Not a paid promotion.
It is not. It's not. But if Tyshawn wants to pay me to skate his shoes,
go hat him up.
Yeah. Hey, I know you all ate a picnic table. I went over a board. It's the same, right?
Yeah.
That's very true. It's very true. But talking of skateboards and skate shops and things like that, if you guys need to get any new skate equipment, head over to autoskateshop.co.uk. Use the promo code ChatSkate10. You can get 10% off of any products, worldwide shipping. Links will be in the description.
Cannot go wrong.
One thing I've noticed about like the UK is I like the older boards. Like I've been trying to find a lot of the older boards, like older Sims, older GNS, and they're not here. But the UK pages, they've got surprisingly a lot of the Fiberflex from GNS and a lot of the really old Sims. I'm like, man, when I think back to the 80s, I don't think UK skating, like, was it a huge scene out there?
It was massive, mate. It was absolutely huge, bruv. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm fairly new into it, really. I mean, it's coming up 10 years for me. I started skateboarding seriously at 30 years old. So I don't really know much about skateboarding in the 80s, but I do know it was definitely a big thing. And we had some serious riders, man.
Yeah, I'm interested in learning that history just because when I look at the older boards out there for sale, dude, a lot of them are in the UK. That's nuts. I'm like, man, I'd pay for that board, but there's no way I'm paying for that shipping.
That's interesting. We like to buy any like that sort of specialty stuff, like especially in Australia. We've got to go to the States to get it. Yeah,
it's nuts.
Good luck trying to find anything. Like all the cool the older style boards. Everything's in the States, unless you get someone who collects them and wants to sell them for triple the price. But
yeah, I won't do that. I refuse to support any of that. I wish everyone would stop. I wish everyone would just stop buying Andy Anderson boards for 5 minutes and hanging them on their wall and trying to sell on UK, and just let everybody calm down.
Yeah.
And let people that really want to try the board go try the board for a reasonable price. I recommend you don't try it though, because it makes me shit. But that's just me.
I don't think I've ever paid full price for a deck. I think the most I've ever paid is £45.
That's what I'm talking about. That'd be amazing.
This one here would have been 45, but I paid 30 for it in the sale. I always go for the cheap ones.
Man, I'm a big flight deck guy, so like I'm paying $80-$90 for a board, no problem. But the flight decks, they do last longer for sure. But they raise their tail.
Really?
That's my problem. I would go for one of them, but I razor tail everything.
Yeah, they're very thin. So you only got 5 layers of wood, 5 plies of wood, and 2 layers of carbon sheeting. So it makes it a thinner board. The pop will never die. The board will not warp, but you will, if you don't like razor tail, it will razor tail.
So even with the razor tail, you still get good amount of pop on it?
Man, I don't know if you watched that video I did where I pulled the bastard out of my garage after 3 years and skated it. But I had made just the best session ever. And that's the messed up part is I know what my ideal setup is, and I don't skate it because I'm on this adventure of trying everything. If I would just stick to one damn board, one set of trucks, and just go skate, I would probably progress a little bit more. But I'm just so interested in trying everything. And it does change the way I skate. The things I try on the twin tail are not things I try on a pile flight deck, or not the things I try on a Revive or a Crooked. Like I skate each board differently, based off what I've set up. So it kind of expands my skating. But like if all things come to an end and I can only skate like one setup, it would be a flight deck, Thunder trucks, and Bones wheels, and I would just call it a day. And I'm sure I'd be perfectly happy. I do like to have a separate board for the bowl though. Like I'm not skating a popsicle in the bowl. I want 10 inches, a big ass board under my feet in the bowl.
Yeah. But you get people to build your board for you, don't you? You ask your audience to help you build.
I did one because like I said, I have this stupid addiction of buying shit. So I bought so many. I wasn't skating 825s for a long time because I was experimenting with 8.5 and shape boards and Welcome and all those things. But I knew my next board was going to be an 825. So I just kept buying the next 825 and not setting it up. So what was I doing? Buying the next 825. By the time I went ready to set up my 825, I had 6 825s, 4 sets of new trucks, and 4 sets of wheels. I was like, what the hell am I going to set up? So I just put it out there to the viewers. And I was like, man, you guys decide. Then I nerded out with PowerPoint and graphed all the votes. And that to Tyshawn's what they built. They could have been the world. It could have been the All I Need. Could have been a bamboo board. Had some cool stuff. And they went with the Tyshawn. And they did pick the Indy trucks. Honestly, I wanted to skate the Ventures with it. I'd never skated Ventures, but they ride a little more straight up and down. And then I thought that would give me more pop on the twin tail because it is a flatter board. But people picked the Indy, and I don't really skate Indy because they point inward, which shortens your wheelbase. I usually skate Thunder, which push out. There's actually a half-inch difference between an Indies and a Thunder when you put them on the same board. Changes your wheelbase by that much.
you serious?
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah. I watch way too much Paul Schmidt because he's a big nerd and I'm a big nerd. And I knew there was a difference, but I didn't know how much it was. And when he said it, I went and started measuring it. And I was like, holy crap. Because the problem is we just buy a board and goes, oh, that's a 14.25 wheelbase. But that changes the minute you put your trucks on. Really, I don't know if you saw last video, I think we should measure wheelbase from axle to axle based on the trucks that you have, because the geometry changed so much from the kingpin and the hanger. You know, you can off the base plate. Like, that would make no sense at all. There would be no reason to have different brand trucks.
I really enjoyed that video, and I like the way that you was measuring the angle there.
Yeah, I got that from Paul Schmidt too, man. I went out and bought the angle measurer because I was like, I do have trouble with the steeper kickboards. Like I said before, I was like, well, what is too steep? So I took the boards that I knew I liked and I kind of measured them, and they were all right around 34, 35 degrees, right? Yeah. So I was like, that's got to be it. So now, knowing that, I can take whatever board I skate, change the trucks on it to a high, to a low, to a mid, change the wheel size, and I can get as close as I can to that 35 degrees each time. And then I shouldn't have to spend so much time adapting to a new board, because my body's going to react the same each time. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it for a guy that can't kickflip, but I'm interested.
You want to see that video? I put that video right there. Press that button.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I like
cool.
that.
I like watching him. He's
I feel bad making 20-minute videos.
It'd be cool to sit down with him one day and just, even go into his shop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That'd be awesome. I think we were talking about it on your last video, that we could sit there and pick his brain all day.
It's just he's got to figure it out. He's been doing it longer than anybody, and he understands how people skate, so he makes sure that he builds boards for how that person skates. I think that's awesome. Yeah.
I was just surprised, like the way he was explaining, even with the trucks, like taking a washer out, just that little tiny washer, and it'll change everything all up.
Because it's going to push the geometry one way or the other. You know. Yeah,
you don't really like it. It's I never really sort of thought about it ever until I got back into it and started watching him. I was like, oh yeah.
So what trucks do you guys skate?
I've got the 139 Indies.
So you skate Indy? Yeah. And what do you skate? Indy as well?
Yeah, I've got the same, but mine are hollows, so obviously a little bit lighter. It's funny because, like, now you mention that actually makes sense, because I prefer shorter boards and like shorter wheelbases. I was really reluctant to go to an 8-inch because they all seem to be that little bit longer, but that actually makes a lot of sense, because I feel a lot more comfortable with the Indies now.
Yeah, and if you change the full width, the full length of the board, where your feet are normally here to ollie and go, now your feet are here. And that's going to change the way everything moves. Yeah.
Well, I'm still on Royal trucks at the moment.
You said you're Royal, but you said you're about to switch it up. What are you switching to?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking there's a lot of options, isn't there? I mean, you were saying Thunders are good. I might give Thunders a try. But someone else was saying Crux trucks are worth a go as well.
Crux are great. One of the first boards I set up had Crux on it because they're super reasonably priced. And I'm not a small guy. I'm a 220-pound dude on a bad day, 210 on a good day, fighting weight. But the Crux, like when I first started and didn't have that skateboarding balance, it made me feel secure when I landed. I felt really stable, but the board still moved when I wanted to move. So I did like the Crux for that. The Tensor Magnesiums I just tried recently, and I absolutely love them. I got those set up with some OJ Combo Elites, and that truck wheel setup is just great. Hope I don't get stuck on it, because them bad boys are spendy, but they're gnarly. I have Ace for my bowl boards. I haven't skated them on the street, but I have an upcoming video where there are Ace on an 825 on one of the completes I bought. So we'll see how that goes.
Now, I was going to say, the thing I did like about Royal trucks is the kingpin's upside down.
Yeah, like Grind Kings.
Yeah, so it goes into the bottom, so you don't get any bolts that stick out over the top of the truck. That was the thing that I really liked about them.
I've got a set of the Grind Kings that came back out, and I use those on like curbs, because the last thing I want to do is smash into a curb with a kingpin.
Yeah.
What was that, Graham?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think a lot of the big truck manufacturers are going that way as well. They're giving that as like a second option.
Yeah, Indy came out with a pair.
Yeah, I've seen it in Tensors, possibly, or Ventures, I'm not sure, but one of the other big ones, at least, I brought out like inverted kingpins.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Trucks have been out forever, and how many modifications, major modifications, have we really had? Barely any. Like, skateboard truck's a skateboard truck, I think.
If you think about it, really, skateboards is probably the one thing that's had the least innovation over the past 50 years of all like wheeled, probably of all engineered objects.
Yeah, I mean, bearings haven't really improved. There's just more companies making better bearing, the equally as good bearing as what we had as Bone Swiss growing up. Now there's just companies that sell them for $45 under a different name, right? And then trucks are trucks. Now they're hollow, so they're a little bit lighter. And boards, you can add some carbon fiber or you can add a slick, but at the end of the day, it's wood plies pressed together. It's all pretty awesome if you really think about it, because the shit people do on wood, metal trucks, and urethane wheels in such a short period of time in history, fucking unbelievable.
Oh, that plank of wood, plank of wood and a roller skate cut in half, eh?
Yeah.
That's where it started, mate, you know?
It's nuts. So, I don't know. I'm interested in all of it from all the boards, any technology that comes, even if it's small, it's something new. I think that's what makes it interesting. And then the art plays a role. Like there's boards I won't try because I don't like the art. I want a good fiery graphic. It's something I like and something I relate to. And then they've also gotten to a point where smaller companies can pop up and put out some boards like Nessa Darps, right? She skates for only one skate. You know, small little thing they're starting up there in Canada, and I think that's super rad because she should have her name on a board all day just for the work she puts in.
Look at this.
Let me tell you something about. I've hit up Ness a couple times on DMs. First of all, she's super polite, super nice, user friendly, gives tips. And when I was learning heel flips, I actually went back to one of her old videos where she was doing them on a bank, like carving into them, almost like a frontside flip. And I was like, oh man, that's how I should do it. Because I was already kind of leaning that way. So she kind of, watching her video, kind of talked me into trying it that way, and then I corrected it. But when I first started watching her, what blew my mind is she floats over her board better than any skater I've ever watched. Like her knees are up, her legs are even, and she's just floating along with her board. And her board just stays right underneath her every time. And it's just amazing to watch.
I see people doing that, just can't comprehend it. Like my body weight is fully down on the board, no matter what I'm doing.
So now I'm really gonna blow your mind. Ready? She's 34 years old.
Hey?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Like she's out there, 34-year-old woman, crushing it.
Yeah.
You know? It's so awesome to watch. And she's got like an awesome spirit.
She's working on her nose manuals in the last video. That was cool.
Yeah. Always crushing it. So I hope her channel takes off because she puts the work in, she puts the videos in, she puts the edit in. She skates with a super rad group of friends. And she's like year round in Canada. Man, you should get 1 million subscribers for skating in snow. Because if it's cold, I'm done. I'm not playing that game at all.
Yeah.
She's got a huge bag of tricks.
It's a shame her that DIY spot got messed up.
Yeah, she was pretty bummed about that. We were chatting about that. She wants to possibly make some videos on building DIYs or building the components that you could take to other places and skate them. So
I've got to go back here. Look at this, boys. Look at this kickflip, though. This kickflip.
The way she catches it. Oh.
Yeah.
Is this not textbook? Well,
because she just floats over a board. The board never gets away from her. It's amazing. She's got so much power, and she looks like she's just chilling.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, and her and her friend B's so funny. Like it's just good. It's good entertainment with some awesome skating at the same time.
Yeah.
Look at that. Jesus.
Just great, huh?
Yeah, I wanna skate like Nessa Darps. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know. I just respect the shit out of her. Like most people, you know, her age, especially females, they're not out there getting the tricks that she's getting. It's just amazing, you know. It blows my mind. Blows my mind.
I'd give anything to have just one clean kickflip like hers.
I've never landed a kickflip, man. I'm a heel flip till I die kind of guy, I think.
See, I wish I was heel flip.
Yeah.
I'll trade heel flip for kickflip any day for sure.
I'll take one or the other.
Yeah. The heel flip, I can't do them on flat. I can only do them on banks. The only heel flip I've ever landed on flat is a fakie heel. But the bank puts me in that back seat position that I need to be into heel flip. When I do it on flat, I tend to lean. I get scared or something. I lean forward too much, and my front foot kicks in front of the board and lands on the ground.
Yeah.
The bank.
Are you coming out of the bank or on the bank?
I can go bank to fakie or up and over the bank.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
But I can't go flat straight. I can do fakie heel once, twice, 3 times actually. You know, but I can't do it. You guys, you know, it's like killing. You guys watched Nicetry Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, he gets out there with his phone, uses nothing but his phone, films the whole video in one session on his phone, edits the whole video on his phone, and posts the whole video on his phone.
And he's editing cool as hell as well.
He's doing all of it in one shot. Man, I've got computers and green screens, cameras and microphones, and you know, a month worth of skating to land half the tricks, number of tricks he lands. He's just out there crushing everything. He can skate transition, flat, street,
walls.
Walls. Like,
the
dude is gnarly. Like, I can't imagine how good he was when he was like young, because he is crushing it now.
It's still fire, man. It's the way he does backside wall rides, like on a vertical wall, like all 4 wheels on the wall.
When he skates insane. Have you seen him skate the benches at the tennis court he goes to?
Yep.
Oh my god, he gets combos on those benches. You're just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, humble guy too. Really humble. Dude.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's chill, and he does good reviews. Like, and when he does a review, you can trust it because he's out there skating it. It's not just like, oh man, I got this thing, it's nice. No, he's like, I got this thing, and watch me crush it. So, yeah, super good dude. He's
wall ride's one of those things I've never wrapped my head around. I don't know. They're a cool looking thing, but
yeah, it's very, very 80s, very old school. I mean, that was some of the first stuff that was happening in the streets.
Yeah, but it's so old, it's brand new again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Does that mean I get to be brand new again?
Yeah, man.
For real?
Yeah, of course.
Look at that. That's just cool. That's just a stylish, thing to do when you're just in the streets, just crushing it. Look at this spot, though. I don't have anything like that. In a town with vampires or something, because there's no one in the streets.
Cool, like lines in there, yeah.
That is a really cool spot, man. Look at that handrail there as well. If you was on that sort of thing,
It looks
got
like
it all going on.
Big pop on that.
Yeah, big fans, dude. He just crushes it.
Yeah, cool style as well. Like, I've noticed, like, you get the skaters that land everything perfect, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I like seeing that little bit of like that, like
that was
wobble.
awesome.
Yeah,
just
a little bit of style.
Yeah, it's me.
You're going to build that there, but you pulled it back.
Yeah,
I love this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, if my foot comes off the board, it's not going back on.
Yeah.
No,
It's cool seeing like a lot of the older style tricks coming in now, like getting thrown into street parts and what have you,
Yeah, it's crazy because there used to be like, oh, that guy's a transition skater, that guy's a street skater, and that guy does bonuses or whatever. Now you got people that they're bringing it all together, or they're taking some time to learn something outside of their comfort zone to throw it in just to make their part pop or their line that much more. It's awesome, and there should be no limits. Like, you shouldn't be stuck in a box of what type of style skater you're going to be. Just go skate. Who
cares?
Yeah,
Totally agree.
A lot of people that I've talked to over this time I've been doing this, they're like, oh, I got frustrated, I kind of quit for a while. I was like, don't quit, go skate something different. Like if you're a street skater and your things just aren't clicking, go skate the bowl. If like go skate a curb, go do something different, and it's gonna challenge you again.
Yeah.
I said in one video when I was in Korea, I was having crap days on the FA board, and I was like, hey, like here's my theory. If everything's going terribly, like try something really hard, because you're already failing at the shit you think you should do. So go try something really hard, and if you get it, great. If you didn't, you were trying something really hard. But I was getting frustrated on a 50-50, so I decided I was going to do shove it 50-50. I didn't land it, but I got a clean shove it onto the box and rolled away. But I was
did it help you get your 50-50s cleaner by trying to throw in something after it?
Not on that one, but in the past has. So trying the nose grinds, I realized that when I miss the nose grind, I get really clean 50-50. So now I think, is my front foot too far back when I'm trying regular 50-50s? Because when I try for the nose grind, I get a really clean, nice, firm landing on my 50-50s when I miss the nose grind. The balance point, So maybe I need to not have my front foot back so far on just regular 50-50s.
Yeah. See, I find if I get stuck on something, I'll be like, oh, today's not the day. And then I'll go out and try and do something completely different.
Yeah.
And doing that something like completely different will go, oh, hang on. I've just figured out why maybe I'm not getting that on. So I'll go back to it and then I'll end up landing it.
Yeah. I also, I try not to go to the park with a plan, because the minute you have a plan, things go to shit. Like I just take the session the world gives me. I'll go throw my normal stuff around, and if something's feeling good or feeling different, I get inspired. That's what I go for. But I've never really planned a session. So
I was actually having a chat with Steve about that the other day. Like our weather's been on and off here lately, and I get that hyped to go for a skate when it's good weather. I end up having a really terrible skate session because everything's like, I should be doing this. Why aren't I doing it? So it's good advice, that's for sure.
But like I think you learn things even when things are going terribly. Like the nose slides, I'll go out there and I'll toss them around. I tried them for like a month before I started making videos with them, because just feels like going out there and failing on them is kind of what plants the seeds and gets your body and your brain thinking about what really needs to be done. So get out there and just toss some things around and see what happens. Eventually it'll click.
No, I agree, for sure.
It's all super interesting. I love it all.
Yeah.
Probably too much. Like I said, it's an addiction. This is seriously an addiction, people. Don't do it. Don't do it. Send me all your skateboards.
Let you try them out.
It's like losing your virginity, isn't it?
Anyone else.
Once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like there's a lot of things we do in life, especially older people with jobs and responsibilities. You work, you do things, and you don't truly see the effects of it right there. Now you can look back 10 years from now and see how you raise your kids and look at your career. Like it's one of the few things we do in the moment. You feel like you accomplished something. Like, oh shit, I did something. Because it's hard at this age to like get a W on a daily basis in the real world. It's gonna be years before you see the effects of your work. When you go skating, you can get a W today, and sometimes that W is something you already got. It just might be a really clean ollie. You're like, man, did the best ollie ever today, and that's enough, to get you through the work week. Yeah,
try not focus on what you haven't got. Focus on what you have got.
Yeah, if I walk away from the skate session, that's a W every time.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I get to go to work and not explain myself.
Yeah, that's it. 100%. Have you like, because obviously we've all started now that we're older, back into it. Does your body hurt as much now that you're using it more?
No, I have a very active lifestyle. Like I don't have a choice. Like I fall out of planes for a living, so slamming on the ground is not terrible. Oddly, I have less back pain since I started skating, and I think I was always very stiff and rigid. That this motion of skating has made my core and back feel better. Yeah.
I found that with my knees. My knees used to be really stiff and always sore after work, but since I started skating, they're still stiff, but they're not. It's more manageable, Yeah. You're using it, and doesn't hurt as much.
Nah, mate. Have you ever hurt yourself seriously on a board? Any broken bones or anything?
No, I have not broken anything. I oddly have a pinched sciatic nerve right now, which is running a pain down my leg when I sit. And when I first stand up, I really can't walk, but I can go run. I can go skate. I can do things being active. The minute I sit down, I'm in probably the most pain I've ever been in my life. It's a super weird injury. Gone through all the process to figure out how to get after it, MRIs, X-rays, all those things. But right now it's just be in pain and wait for the process to tell me how to get after it. But it's miserable. Driving, the most painful thing I've ever done in my life lately. So hopefully we get that worked out. If not, I just have to stay active every moment of every day, and I'll be okay.
Sleep when you're dead.
Once you stop, you'll feel it more. Yeah.
It's a weird pain. It's like a bruise, tear, burn, rip all at the same time, all over my leg, because it's a nerve. And the thing is, it messes with you mentally. It's like, oh man, I shouldn't push it because I'm gonna hurt a muscle. It's not a muscle. It's not a tendon. It's just nerve. So I have to stop myself from thinking that way, or it'll hold me back.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate. I've walked away from every session. If you go to my very first Instagram clip ever, you'll see one of my worst slams. And that happened. Yeah, took a good little slam there. I took a slam to the hip that was so terrible. It created a huge black bruise on my hip, and then that black bruise traveled down my leg for a month until it was in my ankle. Like it moved all the way down my leg. That was gnarly.
Damn.
It's a great clip. I edited it, so I actually slammed like 5 times really quickly, and you can not only do you hear the air leave my body when my hip lands on it's a little bank. It's a marble bank, but there's nothing on the other side, right? So when I hit my hips here, like all the air leaves my body, but you can hear my feet click together on the other side, just click, click, click. And it's fucking gnarly. It's the worst slam I've ever taken.
Yeah,
I've been so lucky with it, mate. I never seem to get like seriously hurt. Just a few bangs, dings, and bruises. Yeah. But everywhere I go, I seem to see a lot of bloody accidents, mate. I tell you that.
And I'm not scared to pad up. If I'm trying something outside my comfort zone, I don't care. I'm 44 years old. Yeah, I'm wearing pads. I always wear my wrist guards because that's the number one thing I'm going to slam first. If I'm trying a rail or manual or something that I haven't done for a while, I'll tend to wear elbow pads. So if I come back, I'm going to land on that. If I'm in the bowl, I'm full helmet, full knee pads, elbow pads, everything. Because the goal is to live to skate tomorrow. Like I don't need to look that cool as long as I can skate tomorrow. So I have no problem going full pads. I call my escalation of protection. Depending on what I'm doing, I wear different pads. And then usually the funny part is once they're on, right? So a lot of it's just out of laziness not putting them on. Once they're on, because let's say I skate the bowl first, they're on the whole rest of the day no matter what I'm doing.
I can 100% attest to that, because sometimes I'll go out and I'll be like, well, I wear shin pads because I just cannot take shinners these days. I have to wear them, but then I put that on and I'm just like, you know what? If I spend all this time putting all these pads on, I'll have less time to skate. But then you put them on in 5 minutes, then that's it. You wear them, and then I'll just wear them in the car, and when I'm driving home, take them off when I get home. It's just it is 100% pure laziness whenever I don't wear them.
I've been wearing those old Bones Therapy knee sleeves lately. Those are great. Like it gives me the little added mindset of the knee sleeve, but it's also got like a gel donut around the kneecap. And it's not that that's helping me, but when my board pops up and smacks me in the knee, it helps me there. Like that little bit of extra protection is amazing. You know. So yeah, I'm not scared to pad up. Not scared to pad up one bit.
You find your confidence goes up that extra bit knowing that you've got that protection.
It does. Like that's why I wear it. Like when I go to the bowl or stuff, it's not like the what if. It's I want to skate freely without thinking about those things. Yeah. And I've been at parks. I remember when I first started this whole thing. I was in Texas skating this big ass bowl, and there's this kid just getting after it. And the way he was coming down each time, you could tell he was trying to protect his knees. And I was like, "Hey man, do you want to try that same trick with my knee pads on?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." He nailed it. The minute he wasn't thinking about his knees, he got it, you know? And, I don't know. It adds confidence. So I don't want to get hurt. That sounds stupid. I got to explain that to people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it's great. Like Steve, you know, transition skater and no pads, nothing. I'm like, man, that's mental. Like I just, some reason transition in my head is like, damn.
It
like,
goes bad quick.
It could be the tiniest ball and it's like, shit.
It goes bad quick, especially like these gnarly cement bowls we have out here. They're no joke. When I was in Korea, there was a really cool wood bowl that I would skate, but even that thing was so fast, and you take a slam, you're taking a slam at such a speed, it's gonna throw you for a loop. So any protection I can get, I'm wearing it. You know, I wish I would do it more. Like I honestly, like I should force myself to wear my helmet every time I go to the park. If nothing else, as an example, that it's fine. But man, don't break the bill payer. Like you got to pay the bills. And I'd hate to explain to my family that we're going to be homeless because I went skateboarding and I'm stupid. So you know, need to up my game a little bit. And then, you know, I get the old man pass, right? No one's gonna be like, oh, look at that 44-year-old in pads. You know, no one's saying that. They're like, oh man, look at the old guy skating. That's cool.
Yeah,
you know, I need to ride that ticket
I've never
out.
really worn one, but last couple of days I've actually been thinking about putting the helmet out. There's a channel. Oh, I can't, and I'll find what it's called for you. But there was a video I saw the other day. There was 2 days ago. There was a woman in El Paso. She was 22 years old, and she slipped out in the skate park and she's bashed her head, and she died a few hours later in hospital. It was the channel's Chad Sinclair, skateboarder, does like a news show, mainly covers skateboarding. But
I'll check that out.
Yeah,
I skated those parks for a year. El Paso's what got me back into skating.
Yeah, I'll put the link there for his channel. You should check him out as well. Spot him as a really good channel, actually.
I would have never got back into skating if it wasn't for El Paso. I was living there for a year while my family was still here. I was living in my RV. Needed something to do. Had a board just to go cruise on, and I went and found the skate park, and I had never seen what American skate parks had become because I quit skating in the 80s. And I go to the things like the Holy Grail, this giant bull, like all this. I was like, this exists? Like, this is a thing? And the guy's like, yeah. And then he pointed me towards another one. I went to another one. Next thing you know, I'm on this skate park scavenger hunt of El Paso. They have 6 major parks to include a Deer Deck Plaza. Like, El Paso, little city, amazing skate scene. And I just decided I was going to go to the park every day and relearn how to ollie. Went every night for 2 hours, did nothing but ollieing. And the locals there, super supportive because they just saw I was willing to put in the work the whole time. Like I'm not sitting down on obstacles. I'm not drinking my soda or anything. Like I skated the entire 2 hours. And within a month, like they brought me into their nighttime crew and everyone was just gnarly. If it wasn't for El Paso, I don't think I'd be doing any of this.
What's the oldest skate parks you guys have got?
Here, where I'm at?
Yeah.
Or in El Paso?
Like in the United States in general, what's the oldest park you've got out there? Do you know?
Oh, the oldest parks? Oh,
yeah, like the first built ones. Like in the UK, we've got,
they're all destroyed.
Really?
So the first built ones were like Del Mar. And then Del Mar was taken down when I was probably in the 3rd or 4th grade. That's when it was destroyed.
Yeah, we've still got the first 2 built here. We've got Romford Skate Park and Harrow Skate Park. And I think Harrow was the first one that was built in 1976, opened in 78.
Maybe what's the one up north of California, like Pipeline or something, might still be remnants of their original park left. And then Mount Trashmore in Virginia is relatively old. That was actually Mount Trashmore. They call it that because it was a dump. And then they grew a mountain, grew grass and stuff on it, and then they turned it into a skate park. And it's pretty gnarly. Like that's where Mike Vallely was discovered by Lance Mountain. So that's a pretty historic spot. But yeah.
Do they do maintenance on your on the old parks there, Steve?
No.
Nope.
Not really, mate.
Yeah, that's a shame.
No, it's shocking actually. They do let them fall into proper disrepair, but they are building seriously amazing parks up and down the whole country. It's gnarly.
Yeah, it's nuts. Right. They're everywhere now. It's like a basketball court. You build a park, you build a skate park.
Well, it's the Olympic sport now,
Yeah. So for this next video I'm doing, it's not gonna be my normal video. I bought 4 really well priced completes with all name brand shit and things I know that are going to perform well to show that my goal is to help parents buy their kids a better complete skateboard for Christmas when they don't know what the hell they're doing. That's the intent of the bowl. Or someone getting back into skating that doesn't know how to go to a skate shop. Do that. Like, here's a good starter kit. But the fifth board I bought is the Target Jagger Eaton Hart Supply Company that he won the Olympics on. That board was $47. I promise you, he didn't win the fucking Olympics on $47 board. So that is the comparison of, hey, parent, don't go to the big box Target store, Walmart, and buy a board when these are available for just a tiny bit more. You can get your kids a better board. Because I don't want them to be frustrated with equipment. Being frustrated with equipment will make them quit on the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I went out and I'm telling you, I found the best possible boards you could find for under $127 each. Like from Ace Trucks, Thunder Trucks, Bones Wheels, like all name brand shit for nothing. So it'll be good. Now I'm going to skate it like a kid would skate it. I'm going to get the boards. I'm going to do all my stupid measurements on them for the people that are interested in that. But then I'm like, let's push. Let's do a fakie shove. Let's just do the basics that a brand new skater is going to do. Get back into it. And maybe this board's great and it needs one thing. Maybe it only needs wheels to be excellent. Maybe it only needs bearings to be excellent. So if you can save yourself some money and get a good setup that way, that's what I'm going to try and portray. We'll see how it works.
I always try and encourage parents to go to the shop and get a complete, from a shop. It might not be the best trucks or the best wheels, but it's going to be a lot better than what something from, say, Kmart, Walmart, whatever.
Like, I've had parents ask me, oh, man, like, I want to buy my kid a board like yours. Like, how much is that? I'm like, oh, man, that's like $240 in their eyes, for a toy, $240, $260 for a toy. Like, their eyes get huge. So that's when I kind of decided, like, there's got to be some options out there. And it was harder than I thought to find these boards because I made my parameters so specific. The hardest thing is they had to be 825. Most completes are made for kids. They're 7.5, 7.75, smaller boards. I got all 825s full completes. It's nuts. It's nuts. But I think it'll be cool. And hopefully I'll have some fun doing it and work on my basics. Can never go wrong with a good old Ollie shove it session.
Yeah.
True.
So the thing is too, with what they need to, like, I try to explain to parents at the park and that if you get a cheap skateboard from a big box store, even just it slamming into the ledge, it could break it. And then they got that thing in their heads like, oh, well, you just rolled it into the ledge and it's broken. Why would I go out and spend $80 on just a deck? But that's where they've got to understand is that $80 is put into proper materials, time and labor.
So I'll give you guys. Here's one like weird thing I'll just give you guys on the boards. The PAL board, it's not maple, it's birch. Like, that's enlightening to me because it's not advertised as birch. So their $98 complete is a birch wood. So that's something I'm gonna point out in the video. Like, watch out for that.
Interesting. I wonder how that skates.
Have they always been like that, or is that just since?
That's their complete. So when they build their complete, they're not using their top of line stuff. They're using their other stuff. So like the wheels on the PAL complete from the PAL Skate One website isn't Bones wheels. It's PAL Peralta wheels. The board is birch. The trucks are Mini Logo, which are fine. I've never skated Mini Logo. I heard they're pretty good, but I heard they're made for kids in a sense that they turn quick. Like, they're super responsive. So my unbalanced ass might find that difficult. We'll find out.
Yeah. How do you run your trucks normally? Do you run them tight, loose, medium?
So I used to ride pretty tight because I didn't have the balance when I started and I was a little heavier. I try not to make any adjustments at first, just because I get on Facebook and I see people that have cranked their brand new bushings down an inch and I'm like, what are you doing? So I try not to make any adjustments and actually wear the bushings in a little bit. And then I just slowly give them turns until I'm comfortable. So I try and adapt my body more to the bushings than the bushings to my body.
I just loosen mine off, man.
I'm about two threads down on the iShod as I look at it, 2 threads down from top, and that's on on Bones medium bushings. Yeah. So
how do you find the Bones bushings?
I like them. So I normally don't switch out the bushings, but on Indy I have to. I cannot skate street on Indy with the Indy bushings. It's too squirrely for me. In the bowl
Okay.
is fine. I don't mess with them at all on any of the indies I have for the bowl. But if I skate indies in street, I have to go to a bones soft or a bones medium bushing,
Yeah.
just to stabilize the board. It's just super squishy to me.
Mm.
So if you could sum it up, mate, for us in like 60 seconds,
Oh,
out of all the boards you've skated, what is the best one?
it's the PAL flight deck for me. Shape 243, PAL flight deck. I don't think there's a better board. If I'm going to go for a shape board, it's going to be a Chris Miller Cat Blood 2.0 shape. That board does everything. If you want an everything board that you can get tricks on in the street and skate some transition, man, Welcome makes some sick boards. But it's the PAL shape 243, by far best board for me.
Yeah. So that'll be the board that if you could, yeah, that's the one that you'd stick
That's
to.
it. That's what I'm skating for life, you know.
Sweet.
But we're still on this adventure in skateboarding, so we're going to skate it all until the wife takes my debit card away.
Bans you from eBay, huh?
Awesome, fellas. Right, that's it. That's all the time we got for tonight, man. So it was amazing for you to come and join us here, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us.
No, it's
Thank you
awesome,
very
man. I
much.
think it's great what you guys are doing for the community, and I can't thank you enough for continuing to grow and bring everybody on, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
Man,
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yep,
Good
you have
chatting
to
with
come
you.
and do it again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Part 2.
Stay rad.
Peace.